Matron, take them away.
And welcome to Morning Watch with me, the Scruff, on this fine day, 21st of September. And is it a fine day? Yeah, it's not bad. I think Noah's packed up shop and gone home because it was torrential yesterday, but the sun's out and I can see across the dales. Happy days. But can I see anything in the charts? Well, we're about to find out. In these little videos, we look at the economic news to see if there's going to be any major moves today and sort of turns and spikes, that sort of thing. And I also look at my strength sheet to see the strongest and weakest to maybe help you with a watch list for today. Now, these videos are done on kind of a reward basis to see if it justifies my time. And we're looking for 100 likes for the next one to be public because they're made every day. And the sheets that you see are posted in the Discord for the squad to use. So with that said, let's have a little look and we'll crack on. So the economic calendar today is building up to really one event, which is going to be at midday. But as we go into this, we'll see there's been very little news through the night to worry about. And funny enough, there's very little news to worry about this morning. There's very low level sort of euro news. The Swissy, it's not really going to do a great deal. That's in about an hour's time at 8:30. But what we're building up to is pound news at midday. This is where the interest rate decision is going to be made at midday. All merry hell will break loose at 12 o'clock. Why? Because it's a bank interest rate. So if you're in sort of the FTSE or any of the pound pairs, especially cable, pound US, be very wary in and around midday, okay? Because it'll be a major spike. Now, once that's over, it kind of calms itself down. And if we go into the afternoon, there's minimal news around the 1:30 data announcements. It's all low level, but it's just ripples in the pond. So if there's been sort of a major spike, it may ripple through into the afternoon. But I wouldn't worry about it. Once the news has been done at midday for the pound, it settles itself down and we go back to looking at it from a technical point of view about an hour later. And then as it goes through the afternoon, we see it's relatively low value all the way up to close of business at 5 o'clock. Everything is pretty quiet. Okay, so from a news point of view, we only really watching midday, and that's for the pound and the FTSE. Now, how does that affect over onto the strength sheets? Well, if I pull this down, we'll have a look. What we can see is the strongest currency at the moment is still the dollar. It's still holding on from yesterday. It hasn't changed its position. And it still gained a bit of ground yesterday, but this could have been off the FOMC last night. It pulled a massive surge off that news announcement. Now from there, the weakest is the Aussie. So it's pulling out a major is something to watch, the Aussie dollar. And then when we look at the change of the markets, the biggest gain was the Swissy and the biggest drop was the New Zealand dollar. But if you were to look at that as a pair to trade and we go over to New Zealand Swissy, it doesn't have a huge ATR. It's only like 55, so it's a very, very slow market. And for a day trade, I wouldn't really look at it. I'd be back to the Aussie dollar. But what I'd also be wary of, it's pulled out that cable is worth having a look at. But because of the news announcement at midday, I would naturally discount that as well. My view on news is very simple. If I know it's coming and I know it's heavy news, I stay out the way of it and then trade the aftermath. So the product of choice is Aussie dollar. So let's have a little look at it and see what we can see. Well, if we're looking at it from sort of technical perspective, if we come out to the daily, what I see at this moment in time is we've got a huge drop, but it's actually in a compression. And it's not really figuring out whether it's going to push higher or push lower. It's just going sideways. But every time it's pushed high, as you can see, we've got long tails in them. It's pushed way back down again. So there's an argument to say that it could be coming back to visit this area here. Might take it a little while to get there, but that is definitely on the horizon. So if we drop it down into 4 hours so we can see what's going on, sure enough, that's a heavy collapse and it's pushing into this area. Okay, so again, it can easily squeeze down. Take it into a 1 hour so we can see what's going on. There's the collapse. It's not really pushing high aggressively. So for me, I'd be on the sell side of this, but I'd be kind of watching to see if it a little bit like yesterday with the trade yesterday, where I'd be watching it to push up into sort of this region to then come back down aggressively. That would be sort of the way I'd be looking at that. And that's about it. So for me on this, I'd probably be a seller today on Aussie dollar. But what I'll say is these are not signals, guys, and the moment that I think somebody's taken these as signals is the day these videos stop. They're just giving you an idea and a heads up of what's going on. So if you enjoy them, click the like button, see it's on the next public, and if you enjoy the channel, do hit the subscribe button. Genuinely motivates me to do more, and we'll bash on. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.